Hi everyone, how are y'all doing today? Victoria Violet here. I tried yesterday to film one video from my car because y'all know I'm always running around. Today I tried doing it 3 times and every time something would go wrong. Either YouTube would lose the whole video as it was uploading, or it would stay in uploading like it did yesterday, or worse, it just never happened. It just it kept saying it was there, but when I would press on it, you couldn't use it, you couldn't play it. So I'm doing a combination of prayer of the day, okay, today's prayer, and talking to the chosen ones, aka empaths, aka enlightened ones, and aka light workers, which is what I call myself. This is a self-imposed title, by the way. You can call yourself whatever you like. 144,000, that's your choice. For me, I don't know, there's a sense of a humbleness maybe, and that's why I call myself a light worker. Plus, before we had a recollection, the majority of us were calling ourselves light workers. So that's why I decided to stay with that, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. This, I believe, was the best card out of the whole, forgive the cards that come and go, the cards that I could have pulled out from the ethers, because I don't ever look at them, I just pull them out as they come. But anyway, this to me is the perfect one for today, for what my discussion is. So let's start. It says the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. This is Galatians 5:22. Okay? I always give you guys a scripture where to go look for it in case you just feel like it, you feel like it touched you and you want to read up on it, okay? So we're going to be talking about the fact that, and I want to say this with a grain of salt, so people out there that are diehard Christians or diehard Bible thumpers, please don't hate the messenger. Again, I'm talking to the chosen ones right now. For me, even though I would never ever soil or taint the Bible with saying I should have been one that wrote it, right? But if I would have been there, I would have also shown favor to the word tolerance, perseverance. And the reason is because as a chosen one, you have to go through a lot. So let's unpack this a little bit, okay? For those that may or may not know you're a chosen one, you just might be, for all you know. So just bear with me, listen, and if nothing else, take it with a grain of salt, and hopefully I will have entertained you. For those that know that you're chosen, then I am definitely talking to you. So let's get into it. While people want to glorify the title as if we just came down here eating bonbons, wearing our tiaras, which you guys will see my photo of choice, because it's like a caricature of me. It's not really a photo of me, but that's AI for you. It gave me a crown. And why not? If I'm a child of the Most High, well, then glory be to God. And if he's a king, then I must be a princess at least. Let's at least put me in Duchess status. And so, hey, why not wear a crown? Be proud of who your father is, right? The God Most High. But let's, all kidding aside, put that to the side and say this. We didn't come down here wearing crowns. We didn't come down here wearing priestly robes like they do in certain religions. And I'm not clowning on them. I'm just saying. The truth is, we've had it very hard, very difficult. There's been nothing good, positive. There has been nothing easy about it. Now, I'm going to first talk about one person that's on the internet right now. God bless him. God bless him. And then I'll go into unpacking the rest. in his opinion, because he had a hard life, which we all have if we are one of the chosen ones, he feels, I believe, a little godlike now. And well, I'm not gonna down him for that, because in a way, you know, we can take from the scripture what we take, and it literally says that we were made a little less than the angels. That means we have some kind of magical trait about us. That means we have some kind of superhuman powers about us. Okay. But on the other hand, I hope, and I'm talking to my brothers and sisters out there, chosen ones, don't take it to the point of becoming Lucifer. Be careful, ye fall. So now let's unpack the rest. There's been nothing easy about being a chosen one, in my opinion. And if you've experienced something beautiful and you've experienced something glorious, then please, by all means, put it in the comments. I want to hear that your life was one of, like, the golden child that they show with, who was it? Was it Keanu Reeves or was it someone else? I don't think it was Keanu Reeves. I think he did one movie, but I also believe it was one of an Asian child that they showed in the movie portrayal. I think it was the Golden Child or something like this, where they were a reborn Lama, right? Reborn Dalai Lama, like the Dalai Lama, right? A Lama. And so they come enlightened already. The majority, just for backdrop story here, for the majority of you guys, the majority of chosen ones, or let me just even go a little further. I want to say, just to be fair, half of enlightened ones, half chosen ones, I want to say, in my humble opinion, okay, from what I can understand, from what I can tell, and from what I can see, half of us at the very least have come down with little to no human life, meaning lifetimes. I can remember possibly 1, 2, possibly 3, and 2 that I know. Yeah, maybe possibly 3, for sure 1. And I say that because 2 of them, well, 1 of them, I didn't really have a body. I had a body that I wore in front of people, humans, but not at night. That's all I'm going to say for this video. The second one, I remember being married, and I remember having a small child. Long story short, I remembered that as a baby, as well as I say baby because to me, anybody that's 5 and under is a baby. And I can remember asking my sisters for a certain baby doll, and then when I got it, I cried, and they thought I didn't want it. Which happened to be a black one. It was a black baby doll that I had wanted, and they bought it for me. That's all I'll say about that. And then I remember, well, actually it was 4. So then I remember Delphi, and that's all I'll say about that in this video. And then I remember Joan of Arc, and that's all I'll say about this video. So again, in only one of those times, I had to fend for myself, in only one of those times. And when I say fend for myself, I mean actually maybe work, actually maybe providing for myself. So again, that's all I'll say about that in this video. The other channel, which is Spiritual Fire, that one, which I hope that you guys will also join me over there, because that one, I'll be going into more detail about spiritual things and how they at times do connect with science, and how sometimes science hasn't caught up to the supernatural just yet. So with that said, the chosen ones that have not been here lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, we've been the ones that have had it the toughest. So let me unpack the ones from my compadre, right? My brother that is on another channel, and God bless him. Promoting DMT, which I'm not going to down that, and I'll talk about that on my other channel at another episode. Not now. I will say I've tried it, and that's all I'm going to say. But you don't have to necessarily take all those things in order to connect to God, because as a chosen one, you should be able to do that on your own. I'm just saying, you should be able to choose. You should be able to do that on your own. You guys that have joined me here on this channel, y'all know full well that I've been doing tarot for you guys, right? So if I've been doing tarot for you, and you've seen me where I shift up, where I may be touching a card, but I'm not even looking at the card. I'm looking around, down, up, sideways, whatever. I've told y'all that I am a clairvoyant. I told y'all that I am an empath. I told y'all that I am able to tap in without needing the cards. So that's why I'm doing away with that portion, except my Jesus cards. I don't think I can let those go in the Archangel Michael cards. I won't be letting those go because they just have prayers on them, scripture. So I won't be letting those go as far as the channel's concerned, okay? But as far as the channel's concerned, I won't be doing tarot on this channel any longer, because I choose to make it about things that are uplifting, and in my opinion, and I'm trying not to go off on a tangent here. I'm trying to keep it tight. I'm not the only one that can do tarot. So you want tarot, you can get it somewhere else, I'm sure. I got tired of only picking up on one situation for everyone, and I want to give a bigger, broader source of information to you all, because I feel that especially right now, the time is now. And I've been saying that, and you heard it first on my channel, because I started using it a month ago, that phrase, the time is now. And now other channels, you're going to start hearing that more and more from other people other than myself. But the time is now. So let me get back to what I was saying. So this, I want to call him a brother because he's still a chosen one. He is angry, even if he won't admit it, and I don't expect him to. But he did admit that he was angry in the beginning, because he was experiencing what we mostly do, which is a lot of hardship, a lot of dead ends, a lot of roadblocks, a lot of hesitancy in life, a lot of trickling, like, when you're opening a canteen and you're trying to drink water, and you're like, and nothing's coming out. Yeah, similar to that. Yeah. That's the way it's been the majority of my life, for the 60 years that I've existed here. And it hasn't been an easy plight, mission. So I expect that a lot of you, and I hope with my heartfelt appreciation, I hope to goodness that you do decide to comment on your situations, short or whatever, of what you've experienced here as a chosen one, and whether it's been really easy for you, if you've been one of the fortunate ones, and I'm going to get back into that one again. And then, or if you've been much like myself and a lot of others, that it's not a complaint that we're bringing forth, it's just strictly to be able to express it, because you got to get it out. You've got to get it out. You can't just hold it in. If you've been holding it as long as I have, as my mom used to say, sooner or later, it's like the pressure cooker, the top has to come out so pressure can be released. You can't just keep holding it in, okay? So I'm going to banter back and forth like I'm teetering, but there's a method for it. There's a method to my madness and a reason for it. So going back to my brother that I'm talking about. When I say my brother, you guys are all my brothers and sisters. Please understand that. Brothers from another mother, but you are still chosen. So if you're chosen, you're still from the same father, okay? Cut from the same pattern. We just came at different times. Second wave indigo. First waivers were from the 40s, guys. Just get over the indigos that they tell us that the indigos are all the way to the 80s. That changed from, I want to say that must have changed probably around 2015, 2016, that people are starting to include people from the 80s that are along that pattern of indigo. They literally were called crystals before. So again, you can do your research, but you know, whoever owns the internet, the World Wide Web, is the one that gets to be the master of everything, right? Because they get to change whatever they want. And then people that are 25 or so and under, well, all you know is what they now tell you. And people that are older, if you are like me at that time frame and started doing your research early on, then you know better because you remember. And no, we're not going to do MK Ultra, where we're going to be doing yeah, you didn't really, that's not what we were saying on that channel or on that commercial or whatever, y'all know. Or the song doesn't go like that. How many years did all of us know that it went that way, and then they changed it up for us? So it's all a matter of what we want you to believe and perceive. And if you know better and have enough common sense, you'll know that it's a bunch of malarkey. All right. Because I don't want to go off on a tangent. Let's go back to what we were talking about. So, back to people like my brother. My brother is fortunate in that he is awakened. What has he awakened to? Sorry, they love muscle cars around here in New Hampshire. He is awoken to that he is a chosen one, but not only that, he's awoken to that he's special. And he is. You are. We are. He's awoken to the fact that we are not everyday normal humans. No, we're not. We aren't. We may be made carbonly out of the same material, but our inner workings, our spirit, our soul is not. So let's just leave it at that, because we're not going to fight science. We're not going to be like those crazies that are like, yeah, you want some of these? All right, let's get you some. Okay, let's get you some. Now you are a woman. You want one of these? Okay. Now you're a man. Y'all get it. I'm not going to fight with anybody on that, because it is what it is, what it is. There's only two. We're going to get into, again, on the other channel, we'll get into more of that and why people feel like they're not. So back to my brother. So people like himself, and I congratulate him. I congratulate him because he's awoken to the fact that he doesn't have to suffer, that he is this, that, and the other. Where there's a danger and there's got to be a middle line, okay? There's got to be a middle line of balance. Is, yeah, awaken to who you are. Awaken to that you're not just an everyday human. But at the same time, don't go overboard and say, I am like a god, and I am this, that, and the other, and I don't have to, because I'm special. And that's when you start going into the danger zone, okay? Okay? Just saying. Look what happened to Lucifer. He's not doing too hot. Although he has had plenty of time to rule, he's still not winning. The white light of God, that brilliance will always win. End of story. But let's go back. So people that have come before and have had numerous activity, lifetimes on this earth or others like it, will remember sooner or later, they will remember those gifts, those tools that they now can put into their toolbox, and then they can have a better life, an easier life, and hey, I can do all these things. And they're right. They're correct. They're correct in doing that. And the reason is because, come on guys, let's all keep it real. Let's keep it real. Who would want to come down to earth without any tools? Except someone who's not really been here very often and doesn't really have that much to draw from. Okay, so let's go a little bit further with these beautiful individuals that come down here and they already had their tools. for whatever reason, maybe that was part of their mission, that they made an agreement with God, with Creator, with Prime Creator. Okay, I'm going to go on this mission, but the only thing I ask is I ask to remember my tools so that I don't have to have a hard life, so I don't have to suffer. Or maybe they forgot when they were coming through the birthing canal, and like our brother here, even though they had a hard time in the beginning, maybe the first 50 years, but after that they started remembering how to be who they really are and how to draw from that with their tools. So on that, I congratulate him and others that actually came through the birthing canal and didn't have to go through what a lot of us have gone through. Having bad parents or bad parenting, or having bad examples of family members that we were born to, even though it is said and widely respected that we actually pick those parents and we actually pick those families to incarnate to. And all I have to say on my own behalf is, boy, was I messed up when I made that decision. But nonetheless, it does teach you a lot of things, and if you're coming down for the experience, so that when you go back and you're able to report all of these things, you're able to give a report on what you learned, what you saw, and what it felt like for you, what you experienced, right? My whole endeavor originally for bringing this channel about was helping people like myself, like yourself, to get past all of this, to get to know yourself, to get to know why you do things. But a lot of us are way past that. Now it's of, where are you, right? Where are you now? Some of us, we just woke up. Some of us just woke up with the different channels that are on right now that are totally just for the chosen ones, and videos that are being shown totally to only the chosen ones. And I say that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Some of us are midway through, meaning, okay, you already knew you were a chosen one, but you're still having a hard time swimming and you're tired. And some of you, like myself, already in your PhD and you're tired, but you keep going, because the alternative is not an alternative. It's not a choice. If you decide to unalive yourself, or decide that it's way too hard, which it has been to begin with, you failed at the mission. So then what are you going to go back to report? I couldn't do it, right? So I'm here, and others like myself are also on YouTube or on the internet and social media to help you. I'm not going to say I have all the answers, my dears. I can't possibly, because I would be God. I would be Prime Creator. But being that we are co-creators, we can help one another. So that's why I'm asking, if you need guidance, if you need help, if you need to express yourself, so long as you don't do it as in, I want to unalive myself, because then I'd have to report that, then you are welcome to the platform, to the comment section, because we all need help from time to time. We all need to get things off our shoulders, off our chest. But I will sit and tell you, now that I'm talking back to the ones that have had it the hardest, and now you know why, because you were not here, or maybe you've never been here. Maybe you've been here once, or maybe you've never been here. So because of that, your soul has no Akashic record to draw from, which I call the library, and we'll get into that in another video on the other channel. So don't be so hard on yourselves, okay? Because I know I sure have been hard on myself in the past. I've been my worst enemy. Worst enemy. But I will tell you that as hard as it's been, I understand. I understand why we're here, and you've got to understand why you're here too, and why you've had to go through all of these things in order to, frankly, be good enough, be strong enough, be worthy. Because if you don't know what another person is going through by having gone through it yourself, it's like the, oh, there, baby, don't cry kind of attitude, and not the empathy, hence being an empath, hence really not being, what's that word, where you just, feel pity for people. Instead, you sympathize, right? Because you can empathize with them because you've been there, done that. If you would have had the easiest life ever, then you would have had nothing to draw from because you have no life experience as it is. Your soul was clean. So because of that, you've had to go through trial by fire, and it has been excruciating to refine you as gold. But also there's a saying that says, iron sharpens iron. And that's what God has been doing to you, making you worthy to do his bidding, to do his will. Remember, it's his will and not ours. And I am here to tell you that it's easy, at least it has been in the past for me, to hold on to the, why does it have to be me? Why do I have to go through this, that, and the other? Why am I the only one? Well, let me tell you, it's not just you. As we're finding out through these Chosen One videos, it's not just you. It's a lot of us. And it's, like I said, most likely it's been at least half of us that have been put through trial by fire. Why am I telling you guys all this if you already know it? It's like, Victoria, tell us something we don't already know. I'm telling you all this, my dears, because if you're much like me, you used to go to your friends that were human. You used to go to your significant others that were human. You used to go to your mother, your father that was human, your siblings that were human, and expect them to understand where you're coming from. And I'm going to tell you what I've experienced through the last, let's say, forever. In the beginning, they're like, yeah, you're going through a hard time, aren't you? Yeah, you poor thing. That's called pity. But as things progress and get worse instead of better, or better yet, they don't even get better. It looks like they're getting better, and then you go into another battle. And then it looks like you're getting better, or things are getting better, and it goes into another. Then they start thinking you're doing witchcraft, or you're being punished for something. And then you also start thinking, maybe I am being punished, or maybe somebody is doing witchcraft on me. And I'm here to tell you that if you're a chosen one, well, it could be that, here, that, or the other, right? This, that, or the other, or it could just be that you're just a chosen one, and welcome to the real world. Because it's just fun that way. And yeah, I'm making light of it. But the truth is that you have gone from, you're not imagining it. In other words, you have gone from one fight to another, to another, to another. And it's been like a video game of sorts that you've been playing all your life. And you get to a certain level, and you think that you're going to get to the next level, and right before you do, you're knocked all the way back down. And it's like the saying, 2 steps forward and 1 step back. If you've had it the way I've had it through my lifetime, it's been that way. So again, we can sit here and we can do the pity party thing, or we can just air it. Yeah, Victoria, this happened to me. Yeah, Victoria, I was one like that. Yes, I went through this too. And let's just get it out and in the open so we can get past it. Because here's the thing. You can tell your human friends. When I say human friends, I mean people that are not chosen, that pretend after a while, because they have to pretend, because frankly, I'm going to tell you, they don't understand. They don't understand. Because they cannot understand that there's nothing on God's green earth that you're doing to incur this much supposed karma or bad luck or bad juju, or you name it, hatred. There must be something wrong with you. You must be defective. You must be like I used to say that I was a misfit toy. You remember the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the old one, guys, not the newer ones, the old one that comes out during Christmas, and they go to the island of misfit toys, remember, because they can't see and all that because of the blizzard. And then they find all the misfit toys and nobody, wanted, etc. Yeah, I always felt like the misfit toy. I did. And I'm going to tell you that your family of origin kind of doubles down for you and ensures you feel like the misfit toy. And so that's their job, though. You've got to, now at this stage, okay, let's get past the okay, we didn't know, now we know, we were chosen. Okay, now you know why you were mistreated. Okay, all of that, believe it or not, if I look back on my military training, I always like to talk about the basic training part, because it was a bunch of bullshit, let me tell you. But at the same time, I always like to kid that I was yelled at home so much that when I went into basic training and the drill sergeants started hollering at me and getting in my face, they'd get in your face to the point to where when they were shouting, they'd spit on you, okay? Because that's how close they were. It didn't faze me, and they wanted it to faze me, but it didn't, because I was so accustomed to my mother and my sisters shouting like banshees instead of talking and communicating like they say, like human beings. So I was already like desensitized to it. But that's the way God planned it. That's the way you planned it before you came down. I know, right? You could kick yourself. I know, because I could too. I can't believe that that God said, okay, here's the hot dog. What do you want on it? And I said, I want it all. Are you sure? Oh, I was overly ambitious. I want it all. I must have said that. I know I did. I know I must have said, I want to experience it all. Because I've had hell and high water, hell and brimstone, I've had the worst of the worst of the worst. And I'm still here, though. Okay? I'm still here. So let's now talk about, like I said, we went through all of these beautiful attributes, right? Through the prayer of the day, all the beautiful things of the, the gifts of the spirit. But let's also talk about, again, perseverance, tolerance. So you have to tolerate a lot of hatred. I know, right? Your mother hating you. I know, right? Your siblings hating you. I know. Your father hating you. I know. But it's true. And they were doing it to make you stronger. They're karmics. If you don't know what the word karmic is, and let me school you here. A karmic, whether it's a husband, wife, mother, father, sibling, whatever, cousins, friends, they're put into your life to treat you in the worst possible way. Like the people that mistreat their dogs and they're kicking them. And I just heard about one woman, by the way, side note, that drowned her dog in an airport. Yeah, she's now going to jail for that. But I say all that to say that you were treated worse than a dog, right? But that was with the intention that you grow stronger. And some of us did, and some of us, for a long while, we didn't grow stronger necessarily. We just grew in, what the hell? Why am I being treated that way? I didn't do anything. And a lot of you, it's true, you did absolutely nothing to warrant being treated that way. I always called myself, Cinderella, because I always felt like I was the odd man out. I always felt like the black sheep of the family, and everybody else loved each other, but for some reason they just all decided to hate me. And nothing that I did was right, ever. And I'm sure some of you feel that way too. Again, that was by design. And we can all say, gosh, God is cruel. But actually, if you do believe, the majority of people in metaphysics that believe in the spiritual community the way I do, we signed on the dotted line. It was a sacred contract between yourself and Prime Creator. And you, like I said, I know now that I said, give me the whole enchilada. I want it all. What do you want? I want everything that you can put on that hot dog. I want it soaking. I want that bun to be soaking with chili and cheese and onions and relish and mustard and ketchup and whatever else you can throw in there. Just douse it. And that dousing was because I didn't want to have to do this again. I know that now. But also, in doing that, I promised myself a good spanking spiritually. I've had to go through the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. Again, no better or worse than you. I'm not, here to put a tiara on and a crown and give me my robe and my scepter, etc. I'm just saying I did it to myself because we're overly ambitious. So again, if I would have unalived myself years ago, when things got really, really hard, as they are right this moment, I will just tell you that and nothing more, I wouldn't have graduated, for one. So we've already graduated. If you've been here the last few months and you didn't unalive yourself in November, I love you. You made it. It may not feel great, but you made it. Now we're in the second wave of that, because now we've gotten past and we graduated, but now we've got to keep that up. So that takes even more energy. That takes even more proving ground. Okay? Because now all of these gifts are coming in, both spiritual and tangible. And that's all I'm going to say. But before that happens, are you really chosen? Are you really sure this is for you? Because now you've got to have the ability to hold the light, to be a light bearer, to really stand for everyone that is a non-light worker, non-chosen one. You've got to be the one that's doing that. I mean, you've already been doing that. These last few months, you've already been doing that. For those that have been feeling like I have, I feel like, have you ever seen those movies where, let me just put it this way. Some of you may be very, very young and y'all don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Please go and watch the original Highlander movie, okay? So the quickening has been happening, at least this portion of it, since I want to say October, November of last year to now. And that quickening has promised that somebody has come against you and tried to unalive you spiritually, and you have more than felt it on the physical plane, material physical plane, and you're still here. As they say, there can only be one. The other thing that I want y'all to take away from this conversation is many are chosen, and a few that are called will answer the call. So what do I mean about that? Okay, so we've already talked about the chosen ones that came down with their tools intact in their toolbox, and they didn't have any problems once they got here. Then we already talked about people like my brother that's on another channel that I'm not going to mention, and he went from being very, very angry to being somewhat angry right now about everything we've ever had to go through, finding out he's a chosen one, and now he's with a vengeance saying, this is me, and I'm going to charge you $1,000 for DMT. You come and do this with me and know who you are. Okay, I'm not saying don't do that, because that's on you. And getting back to us. So here you are, and you're getting attacked over and over again. We know this. We know this because it's not normal. But you're still here. You're still here. So you've been proving all this time that you are not only worthy from the last 4 or so months, what, November, December, January, February, March, 5 months, that you can, not only are you still here, but you can hold the light for others. Okay? Some of us first and second wavers have been holding the light for a long, long time. And trust me when I tell you, it has been hard as F, but we're still here. Okay? But now you know who you are. Now you know why things happen to you. Now you know why things happen to you over and over and over again. Now, do you understand why I keep on posting videos that tell you put on the full armor of God? And I'm not just talking about scripture. I'm talking about you need to get right with who you really are. You need to remember who you really are. It's time. I'm emotional because a lot of us, if we would have known who we were when we were little kids, like in our teens, we wouldn't have gone through all the things we went through. I get it. I get it. I get it. It was hard. I know. But at the same time, you know who you are now. So instead of being angry like our brother, and I think there's a 50-50 chance that he's going to fly right, okay, because his heart is in the right place. He wants to help chosen ones to get theirs. Problem is, we do not want to ever elevate ourselves above our God, our Creator, because then we become one of the fallen ones. So that's the next portion of chosen ones that I want to talk about. So 4 years ago, and I'm going to use this as an example. 4 years ago, I met a man. I met a man in a very, very unique way. I met him on the internet and on a dating site, okay? The weirdest part was all the affinity that was there, and I've talked about him before during the readings. You may or may not have watched. He was a soulmate. He was a twin flame, okay? Like I said, when we're making our spiritual contract with God, we ask for certain provisions. Being who I am, I asked for my spiritual husband to come down. Lots of people believe we're not married elsewhere. I don't believe that. I believe we do have our mates, some of us, and some of us don't. Some of us have families, some of us don't. Some of us have mates, some of us don't, okay? And so I met him. That's the point. Here's the thing. When you meet your twin flame, who has also signed a spiritual contract to come down and be a chosen one, by the way, that's what a twin flame does if you're a chosen one. You're supposed to do it together. You're supposed to work together. But it didn't happen for me that way. This person was already with someone else. That was not even the hardest part of all of that. Okay? The hardest part was in the beginning. My twin flame was very close to God. Very close to his Creator. And loved Creator. And even called himself a Jesus freak and wore the t-shirt to prove it. Somewhere along the line, he forgot who he was. He forgot that he was a chosen one, and instead became a fallen one. Like I said, he was already taken. That was bad enough. If I would have stayed in that relationship, I would have had to have allowed for that, and I couldn't, because I know who I am, and I know that I had to stick with my own integrity, so I couldn't. So at the 3rd year of waiting, I had to let him go. It was either that or let go of my God. And I'm sorry, but as much as I love my true mate that one day I'll meet again, when I go home, I love my Creator more. So I had to let him go. I say all that to say that not all that are chosen will hear the call and heed it. Not all will follow. Not all will honor their contract. Not all will be able to stick to the contract, because there's a lot of sacrifice that goes on. Like I said, some of them that already had missions prior had tools that they came with, like an archery, the bow and the arrows, and they already had their tools that they were allowed to come with. And then there's some like ourselves that did not have those tools. Much like the fallen ones that went down with Lucifer, okay? The fallen angels, the fallen archangels. That's why I tell you guys, when you call upon angels, especially those people that are dabbling in magic on the internet and post about it, archangels are archangels. The difference is these are angels of the supreme white light of God, Prime Creator, that are following Prime Creator and do not go against his will. And these are the fallen ones that are still archangels and still have their powers, although somewhat diminished, that follow Lucifer. Okay? When you become a fallen chosen one, you're not following Prime Creator. You're not part of that white light anymore. I am so sorry. I'm not sitting here putting someone in penance or, trying to down anyone. But you're now part of the fallen ones. I'm sorry. You're part of the fallen ones. Now, I've told y'all before, but I told you in a very covert way, so you may not have gotten it during that video. Doesn't mean you cannot course correct if you're a chosen one and decide to come back. The fallen ones never course corrected. They never did. And that's why they're fallen. They were not allowed to come back. And their sin was so grave, they couldn't come back anyway. But the chosen ones, if they course correct, they can come back. But only they can choose to come back for God to be able to absolve them. Okay? They may or may not finish their mission, because they may or may not have time. But at least they'll be able to go back home and not be part of the fallen anymore. But if they never course correct, they will forever remain as a fallen one. Remember what the Bible tells us. We were made little less than the angels. So we still have a part of us that is a miraculous, I don't know how to put it. We're a miracle. Magical miracle, whatever you want to say. Now, to the ending of why I'm posting this video, because number one, my brothers and sisters, you need to understand, one hand is wanting to tell you, be careful with the sites that you follow that are for the chosen ones, because a lot of them are posting the government is watching you, etc. I don't know if they are or they're not. I'm just telling you, be careful, because stranger things have happened, okay? But the other thing I want to tell you is, when you're trying to get someone to understand you, because we all need understanding, and you're not getting it, then you need to find a place like this where you can come and you can talk amongst people that are actually going to understand you, because they're fellow chosen ones and can get you. They get you from the inside because they know where you're coming from, because they themselves have gone through the same thing or similar, okay? So that's why I'm posting this video, because let's just face it, it's like when I used to tell you guys, we're like Harry Potter, right? At the school, Hogwarts, and then there's the Muggles. And not to offend anyone, but the Muggles don't understand, being magical and all of that, right? Because they're afraid of it. Well, same thing with our wonderful charges, our people that we help or that we're here to give light to. They don't understand. If you're supposedly a chosen one, then you're supposed to be godlike, and you're never supposed to have problems, and you're never supposed to have flaws. Never supposed to have flaws. So the moment you start talking about the flaws or the cracks or the problems that you have, oh, well, I thought you said you were a chosen one. So they don't get it. They don't get it. So again, places like this where you're going to be safe, where you're going to be able to talk amongst each other in the comments, and be able to read each other's comments, and get to understand yourself, who you are, what you really are, etc. Okay, so again, the middle ground is where you want to be, and I hope that this is a jumping off for some of you that are just now finding out you are a chosen one and why everything happened to you that did happen to you as a child. For others that already knew and you're getting your PhD, well, let's go get it. For the people that didn't know that they graduated, oh yeah, you did, with honors and then some. For those that already came with their tools, bully for you, help us out. And keep that toe, right? Keep that toe line going for all of us. Pray for us, hold us up, send out your energy, the good vibrational energy throughout the planet. And for those that are angry because they had to go through everything that we've gone through, I'm going to say this to you. Ditto. Of course, the part of you that's human, that's having a human experience, yeah, of course you're going to be angry. Because you see families being able to be together. You see people being able to have beautiful lives, good livelihoods, homes that are like castles to you, because maybe you don't have what they have, or good relationships, good let's say friendships, and maybe good jobs, good careers where they feel very cushy to you. And you see all that and you wonder, why not me? Well, now you know. Okay, now you know. Things are going to get better from here on out, but you need to stop being angry long enough to understand it all and then push forward. Okay, this will diminish, but remember, right now a lot of things are coming to light as well worldwide, especially here in our government. For example, in the United States, a lot of things are coming to light that a lot of people didn't know about what was really going on. And you just take some of that with a grain of salt, meaning you cannot be watching the news 24/7. You cannot. It's going to deplete your energy. It's going to create depression, which was the last part that I wanted to talk about here. And the dark night of the soul, because you start feeling overwhelmed. And if you're an empath like myself, you take in both the negative and the positive energies. And if you're taking in all the negatives from throughout your neighborhood, your communities, wherever you live, etc., you start feeling heavy and start feeling depressed. Maybe you start feeling helpless. So don't take in too much TV, too much news. Even, I mean, I don't even watch that much news per se, but I will watch particular people that are like you and I, that are putting out the real word, etc. But at the same time, even that's too much, because it's just an excess. I tend to watch about maybe 5 people that are reliable and saying the same thing, and it's reliable because they do the research. But at the same time, that's too much. It's overwhelming. It's system overload. So because of that, guys, do some downtime. Do some downtime if you can, away from things like that. Go out in nature, ground yourself, grab a tree and hug it. Take your shoes off. We're happy spring, everyone. I wish this was a better video in reference to that, but yesterday was the spring equinox. So happy spring, and you made it past that time as well, the winter. And so let's just, moving forward, let's just expect better days and better times for ourselves. And don't hold on to the dark night of the soul. Feel it and let it go. You have a right to your feelings. You have a right to be angry. You have a right to feel overwhelmed about all the things that happened or didn't happen the way that you saw that it should have happened in your life early on. But know that it wasn't for naught. Again, it was all meant to give you the meats and potatoes on the plate, which are the main course. You won't know how to help others if you don't go through something. I am so sorry. I wish, it's just like a doctor, right? And they call it a practice on purpose. They call it a practice because it's ever changing. But the truth is, every time a doctor comes in, unless they're an expert in that field, they're still practicing. So that's the way it is with the chosen one. If you didn't have all of these situations arise early on, or even into your adulthood, such as for myself, then you wouldn't know how to be able to feel, truly feel, empathize with someone, okay? Again, sympathy is more like pity. Empathy is more like I put myself into your situation because I know what it feels like and I can imagine what it's feeling like for you to go through it. This has been the message for today. I've been trying to put it out for 2 days straight, and I don't know what's up with YouTube. Besides that, I get on there and everything's jittery like this. With the 3-minute videos, that's what it's been doing. With the 1-minute videos, I noticed that those I could post without issue. But anything else, it was just not loading. It would stay in the loading, it'd stay in the loading. It would tell me 8 minutes, and the 8 minutes was an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours later, and it still said 8 minutes. So I had to delete all the videos because it just did not work. So again, you have persevered, you've been tolerant, and you're getting, I can't say what you're getting, and let me tell you why. You're going to be gifted something. Each and every one of us will be. But what you're getting in particular, you're too many for me to know. I don't even know the extent of what I will be getting gift-wise, right? Gifts of the spirit, etc. But I do know that all of this was not for naught. It wasn't. And that's the point I've been trying to make all this time. So we can be like that brother that's angry, or we can just know that there was a reason for all of this, and that it also serves to edify our God, to glorify Him. I'm going to say this, and I mean it, but I mean it with love. You and I have been a walking Job on this earth. J-O-B, like that in the Bible. I would always kid before I knew who I really was, and I would say, my gosh, if I didn't know any better, I would definitely say I am Job. But Job was a man, and I would tell myself that. Yeah, that's what we've been. And look how much Job loved his Lord, no matter what he lost. And that's the point. That is the point right there that I want to leave you with. That's exactly what it is that God wants to know, is how much do you love me? If I take everything away from you, if you suffer without end and without reason, would you still love me? And of course, if you do love your Creator, you're going to say yes. And you could be right now saying, Victoria, you are insane. And I could say, perhaps. But what did Jesus do? Ultimate sacrifice, right? That's my point. Love you guys. Bye.